Hello everybody and welcome back to game number 2 between Complexity GanZi against VileIllusion. VileIllusion losing the first match, but can he pull it back? I'm Senex.
And this is Full. And I've got to say I'm really excited to see how this one does play out. As we can see here, Illusion is spawning as the pink Terran at the bottom left of Shakira's plateau, whereas GanZi is spawning as the red Terran here at the top right. So that means Illusion is playing his main race.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a kind of a little bit of a godsend, basically, for him in this second game. I really don't think GanZi is an opponent that he can off-race against. The guy's just so good that if Illusion's going to end up taking victory, it's going to be with this race.
Yeah, it would have just been so insane to see Illusion actually win the last game as Protest. If we had seen that, this guy would be like a god amongst people, like amongst players. Just would have been so awesome. But of course, he did lose the match. We'll see if he can pull out as a Terran player though, and I think he has a pretty good chance. His TVT is super strong.
Yeah, I do think that yeah, just as you were saying, his Terran versus Terran is by far one of his best matchups, and I definitely think that he's going to be able to use that to his advantage. Also, he has, I think, more experience than GanZi just on FRB maps in general, at least from kind of what I've been able to gather about just how the players have been practicing. So if he has some specific builds planned or kind of a couple strategies ready, he might really catch GanZi off guard.
Indeed. So we can see here a difference in builds already. Illusion choosing to go ahead and get his gas, whereas GanZi is going for the fast expansion once more. Now this is the kind of style that Illusion likes to play. From what I've seen on his stream, he always kind of goes for sort of a one base, like huge attack, and then will expand behind that instead of just expanding quickly. And you know, with GanZi going for the fast expansion, Illusion may very well take advantage of the vulnerability that GanZi is going to have here.
He's also immediately throwing down a tech lab. To me, this absolutely says Reapers. I don't think that Marauders coming out of your own base are really fast enough. You can proxy Marauders and do some good damage, but if a Reaper gets involved right now, that's just going to be very difficult for GanZi to deal with. They deal so much damage versus light units, and while he does have the 2 barracks under construction with good micro, they can engage small groups of Marines and win, and they can also harass this expansion extremely easily.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for GanZi to deal with that. Going to need some Marines and possibly even an SCV to help micro against that Reaper. But we do see VileIllusion here going ahead and getting a factory out here at a kind of an awkward spot. Definitely trying to hide that from GanZi, even hiding it from his scans. And there's a good chance that GanZi won't actually scout that. You don't really see that position used too much these days. At the same time, Illusion is popping out that first Reaper and may follow it up with a Cloaked Banshee.
I would say Cloaked Banshee at first, but just by looking at his gas, I'm not sure he's going to have enough. He might be able to go for ordinary Banshees, but obviously with fewer resources per base, you have 25% less money, and I just don't quite feel like you can afford Cloaked Banshee play with Reaper production as well.
Yeah, he might even go for Hellions. That would obviously be really effective. 2 light killing units, Reapers and Hellions, super strong against Marines. And yeah, he is going for the Hellions here. And Illusion actually able to get a couple of kills right there. Currently 2 Marines are on the field to deal with this Reaper, and Illusion's going to be able to easily micro back. Of course, he does have an SCV that was building a bunker, didn't quite get the bunker up here. And we'll continue to try to get that bunker finished as best as possible, bringing in another Reaper, in fact, to do some killing.
Oh, I do think this is going to be a brilliant play from VileIllusion, looking at the tech choices that he has right now. Nitro packs on the way, along with a Starport and Hellion production. If he can drop Speed Reapers and Hellions into his opponent's base, away from any bunkers, away from any mass groups of Marines, it will just be so difficult for GanZi to hold off.
Indeed, and we see Illusion here with only a few units doing so much damage against these Marines, and in fact, GanZi going ahead and getting a bunker. He feels like he's not going to be able to hold this off with just a few Marines. Gonna need some extra defenses here. Of course, Illusion is making that medevac, like you were saying, so we may be seeing some drop action here, and actually Illusion going around here wants to possibly pop into the back of GanZi's base, and GanZi's not even in position to defend against this.
It's just such a perfectly timed move as well. 3 Reapers, enough to one-shot a worker with speed, moving in at exactly the right moment. They also, I believe, one-shot a unupgraded without combat shield Marine. So getting right in, immediately sniping down 2 workers, also killing the supply depot, and can pull away just any time they want.
Yeah, Illusion is doing some excellent harassment here. Now, where is his medevac? Did he finally get that out? I'm looking. Yeah, it is on its way, so we will be doing some lifting. Probably going to go ahead and lift those Hellions off, and at the same time, jump his Reapers up. Not going to really be able to get past this bunker, I don't think, without losing too much here. So we'll see what decision he does make.
I think he's just going to totally bypass that bunker, move it right into the back of the natural. He has no reason to engage that. And also, kind of side benefit that this medevac provides, it lets him heal up all of these damaged Reapers. So long as they don't actually get killed, he will be able to repair or heal up any part of his army right now. So he can continue trading cost efficiently. Also, he might be able to get his whole army up here without GanZi noticing.
Yeah, GanZi has no idea that Illusion's doing this. And now GanZi's going to be in a lot of trouble. Of course, we're going to need to see some awesome micro here from Illusion to actually kill these units. It does look like he's able to toast down these Marines so effectively. Losing a couple of Reapers there, still does have 3 Hellions and actually lifts them off. Let's look at the units lost tab. GanZi has lost so much more than Illusion has lost at this point in the game.
Yeah, definitely some really good play from Illusion right there. The one thing that actually, no, he's even on workers with his opponent. And so while his own expansion is a bit delayed, his economy isn't that much worse. You can also see that reflected in the supply. Only one difference. So he's really been able to make this harassment count and make his opponent not be able to kind of take advantage of his command center first play.
Yeah, indeed. So we do see him moving around with the medevac, going all the way around the base and actually going to pop out on the other side where GanZi's really not even expecting him. He does have a turret, but it is nowhere near in position to defend against the drops. Of course, Illusion also going for some Banshee play here. I think he was making Banshee. Yeah, he is currently still making those Banshees. And GanZi's going to be a little more prepared for the Banshee, but he actually doesn't even have a turret, and his natural close to the minerals could be a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, he also has a Banshee that's in the south, sat there for a little while, a little bit of a misclick, obviously, but he's moving that, and I definitely suspect it, yeah, at the exact same time, moving in to harass the natural with the Banshee and the main with the Reaper and the Hellions, unloading everything in that little ninja back corner, and in fact got cloaked and is forced away, but is able to also get a lot of damage in the main at the same time.
Now, GanZi did move over here with his Marines and was able to deflect that attack for the time being. Of course, Illusion didn't really lose anything and is now moving in with another Banshee that is cloaked. The turret is not finished. He's able to just pick up so many Marine kills right now, dwindling down the Marine count of GanZi, and finally takes a supply lead in this game. Wow.
Yeah, also forcing a scan there, very nice, because the Banshee was able to pull away completely scot-free, and once again this medevac filled with Hellions and Speed Reapers is just waiting like a knife ready to plunge into GanZi's back the second that he decides to do any sort of move out or not commit himself entirely to the defense.
Yeah, Illusion definitely has command of the game right now. GanZi is in such a, well, not bad position, but just scary position, I'm sure. As Illusion continues to move up here with his Banshees and pick off even more Marines. Now that turret is actually gonna, deflect the Banshee, but did not manage to get the kill. The Banshee got away with the 8 HP, and wow, Illusion's control is just perfecto right now.
Yeah, and behind all of this amazing micro, he's also expanding.
Whoa. Wow. Yeah, it's just what you're saying. He's taking that expansion up there. Totally.
Yes, indeed. He's taking the northern expansion, so he's going to really take advantage of his kind of map control and the pressure that he is putting on his opponent. GanZi obviously feeling like he's very much on the back foot, even though overall he's mostly even. He just doesn't feel safe doing anything aside from keeping all of his units in place to make sure that he can't be further harassed.
Yeah, and GanZi has taken an SCV lead once again, which I'm actually quite interested about how that's happened. I guess Illusion's just been focusing more on getting his next base up and actually transfers a ton of SCVs over here. And GanZi really has no idea that this is going on at all. He doesn't even have control of the watchtowers, and he's really just stuck inside of his base with the bunkers and the turrets to help for defense. GanZi is just basically waiting to get more units so he can finally push out. Now it does look like he's moving some Marines out here, but once again he's going to be a little bit vulnerable to the harassment of Illusion.
Yeah, he's looking to check out that third base to see if there's anything preventing him from taking it, but he's still totally in the dark that his opponent's third base is up and running. And with the SCV advantage that you mentioned a moment ago, GanZi, despite having that advantage, is at a severe income disadvantage, just because you only need about 12 SCVs for optimal saturation, or for optimal saturation, or 18 SCVs for maximum saturation
Yeah.
on a fewer resources per base game. So just having an additional base over your opponent so everybody's working at maximum capacity is an enormous advantage.
Indeed, indeed. So Illusion definitely showing his strength and knowledge of the FRB here. Definitely doing what he needs to be doing in this game, not getting too oversaturated, as you were saying. Now, GanZi is just now finishing his stim, so maybe looking to push out here and do some damage against Illusion. Of course, Illusion very well bunkered up and very well defended. Doesn't really need to worry too much. The only thing, a point of a vulnerability that I might see for Illusion is a small drop area that GanZi could really take advantage of, but there are turrets pretty much all the way around Illusion's base. And yeah, it's just going to be super hard for GanZi to actually push into Illusion.
Yeah, GanZi attempting to break his opponent straight up is going to be a very difficult proposition. He has a massive number of Marines, but only 2 siege tanks, and behind all of his kind of harassment-oriented play and stuff, VileIllusion was able to now get 7 siege tanks and 34 Marines of his own. So despite having half the Marine count, he has a whole bunch of the very kind of valuable like higher tech units that he needs in order to support the Marines that will make it just so dangerous to try to do any frontal assault.
Yeah, it's crazy how Illusion has so many tech units. He's got 5 Banshees out there, so many tanks, and the 75 Marines of GanZi might not really be what he needs to deal with Illusion. I feel like perhaps if we were going for maybe some Marine Marauder or even mech play, he might be a little better off, but like you said, it's going to be super hard for GanZi to really do any damage. Instead, is choosing to base up, macro up, get some more bases, and try to take an eco advantage or even an upgrade advantage, just trying to find a spot where he can take advantage of something.
Yeah, though now we can actually see GanZi beginning to take a bit of the income advantage because he does have that worker supply lead, and so now that he is finally taking the 3rd base, he is beginning to equal out that deficit. But hold that thought, a huge move out through the middle of the map. The entire force of GanZi really getting ready to go and try to punish VileIllusion, and I don't know if Illusion necessarily is going to have enough to hold this off. He's 20 supply behind, and a lot of that is also used up in harassing units, particularly that full medevac in the back right-hand, or the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, he's really going to need to siege up his tanks nicely here. But we see GanZi losing so many Marines right there to just a few tank shots and actually having to fall back here. These Banshees are doing so much damage regardless of the fact that GanZi has a ton of Marines. And there we see another wasted scan. This Marine's not even able to do any damage to the Banshees of Illusion. And Illusion in that excellently placed battle takes the lead for sure.
Yeah, I can't believe how good his Banshee control was right there. I was just watching them fly behind that enormous army, thinking like, oh god, at any second now GanZi's going to stem a section of his army, scan, turn around, and get 4 free Banshee kills. But the second it looked like GanZi was going to do that, Illusion immediately pulled away. There's also some harassment going on in the main as well. An 11-kill Banshee picking off the center tower, straying in range of a missile turret. He does want to move away, unfortunately loses it, however.
Wow, Illusion is just playing so impressively here up against the Coda S, amazing Terran player from Korea. Now we do see Illusion moving up even more Banshees here, trying to find the spot where he can just pick off some units.
Illusion's 3rd.
Oh, there's a huge drop, yeah, like you said, and Illusion's 3rd, and actually all the SCVs were forced to move back. Now Illusion might even lose this space. At the same time, he's going for a huge engagement at the front of GanZi's base, sieging up a lot of tanks right here. Illusion not even worrying about the tanks of GanZi, manages to kill every single last tank of GanZi. At the same time, he did lose his base, but he's not even worried about that. He's completely cleared up GanZi's army.
Yeah, and he's also managed to keep his entire siege tank force alive. It's now 12 siege tanks and 39 Marines against just 30 Marines flat. That is almost all of GanZi's force aside from a couple of medevacs. And so even though he lost that base right now, his army is just so much bigger and so much more effective. Also, in turn, he's going to be able to immediately run in and deny his opponent's own 3rd. He's going to definitely kill all of the SCVs right there. Also, with some huge siege tank shots, just wiping them out. He might even be able to kill the orbital command as it tries to retreat.
Yeah, he will be able to take up that 3rd base of GanZi. And we did see GanZi try to do harassment here at the natural of Illusion, but his turret placement was so excellent. Now, at the same time, GanZi is moving a group of Marines with medevacs and a Viking to try to do some damage, but Illusion just straight up has the units that he needs to deal with this. GanZi's not going to be able to take out these tanks. Almost losing some tanks. Actually, lost 1 tank right there, but GanZi does GG out.
All right, Illusion totally managing to equal this series up, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in game number 3 of this semifinal match.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.